developing the yeah.
Right, thanks for staying with us on BizTalk. If you have any comments, you can email us at biztalk@bernama-tv.com, or you can tweet us at biztalk502, or you can call us right now at 0326937008, because we have Yang Berbahagia TANSRI NAVARATNAM, the chairman of Asian Strategy and Leadership Institute, or ASLI, for Centre of Public Policy Studies, as our guest today. Right, before we go for our break, just now, we were talking about the report on the second year of ETP. So we have, like you said, we have gone up the ranking on the World Bank, and we have achieved all these things. And do you think, we could actually maintain it in the probably next year or the next 5 years?
That's a very important question.
Yeah.
I think we tend to look at things short term now.
Right.
And are wanting to push the project side. But what happens when they are fulfilled? You know?
Subsided.
How do we sustain it is the big question.
Yes.
Especially between now and 2020. Can we maintain the same momentum, particularly when the world economy is very uncertain even now?
Yes.
The US, 4 days time, and
right.
they're still dithering
Europe
about the fiscal cliff.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that state of governance in that rich, powerful country?
Mm-hmm.
Europe is in a mess, and you don't see too much light in the tunnel.
Yes.
A little glimpse maybe, but when are they going to resolve this thing?
Okay.
East Asia seems to be doing much better.
Yes.
And this is our salvation. But we have to really be able to tap on these resources.
Right.
We need to optimize. Are we undertaking enough structural change?
Okay.
Are we becoming more efficient, more meritocratic, more competitive? What do you need to become
right.
so?
Which is the structural transformation that you really want to talk about.
Yeah. For example, the blueprint. I mean, frankly, we knew this was a problem for a long time, but we did not address it.
Right.
Early enough.
Right.
Now we are rushing it through and hoping to get it through cabinet next week or next week or so.
Okay.
And this is such an important issue because this is going to set the pace, to answer your question, of sustainability and further growth, which will be dynamic, not for only this year, next year, and few years, not even up to 2020, but beyond.
Yeah.
It's a long-term issue.
Right. Let's go back to that question because we have a caller right now. Kelvin from Ampang. Hello? 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 I think we... Hello? Okay, I think we have lost the call. Let's continue with the structural transformation. You said we need, not only up to 2020, we need to go beyond that. So from there, what do we do to have, the sustainability? And
for that, you need to build a strong foundation.
Okay.
We did very well in the past. Let me not detract from it. We are one of the most successful developing countries since independence. That's very important. But you must keep the momentum, otherwise you can decline.
So
it's what they call S-curve.
Okay.
So education is primary, it's fundamental. But we still are dithering about English language. We don't do enough science and technology. We don't have enough technical schools. We all don't have to be doctors, lawyers, civil servants, and teachers. You need all the tertiary types, the technical types, and we're not doing enough on those things.
Right.
Now we say we're going to do something, but again, it's a good plan.
But implementation.
Implementation.
Right.
You don't get good teachers. How are you going to have the implementation of a good policy? And the policy itself is still questionable. I don't know what the final outturn is, but when it was presented and we all gave comments, CPPS ASLI too, we were not very happy.
Okay.
So why are the Chinese schools not treated like national schools?
Right.
I mean, it's in the constitution. You're supposed to encourage it, primary level. Why about Tamil schools? Why should they have sheds, you know, and lots of places where dilapidated? If you have a few pupils in a school, well, surely there must be a political will to consolidate them, Tamil, Chinese, or whatever.
Right, right.
Now, the Sekolah Wawasan too started and then fizzled out, you see?
Yeah.
Good policies again.
Yes, yes.
So when you go flip-flop like that, people lose confidence.
True.
And people get more uncertain. And that is why I think, despite the good side of government and its policies and a lot of successful implementation, like the growth rate, for example, people doubt it. There's a lack of confidence in the system.
Right.
Because you do not know what they're going to do next.
Okay.
And that is not good.
Okay. Even Professor Farida has something to say on structural transformation. So let's take a look at the package on Professor Farida.
In achieving a fully developed country in the year 2020, transformation is a key driver toward the initiative. Join me to discuss on the structural transformation in need toward the year 2020.
We were blessed, I would say, in 2012, 131 EPP or entry point projects has been, I would say, has been considered as a kickstart, and more than 50%, I would say 55% has already been implemented, which is really commendable, although we can do a better job. I believe coming from a marketing background, we should be more focused as a in the management. We should be more focused, selective in the areas of priority. There are many that we can offer, but out of this so many, what would be probably the 4 or 5 areas that the country should really, I would say, look into, whereby we can make the utmost out of it, gain revenues, make the people, the rakyat, really deliver those products or services that we can benefit. And I guess by 2020 we will be able to become a fully developed nation if we put everything in place year by year, not reinventing the wheel, they say, but to look into the areas whereby these are the areas of focus, these are the areas that we want to be competitive until we reach the best globally. Having said that, even if we have a fully developed nation by 2020, one thing that I feel the government really have to bear in mind is to look into the poverty group, you know, those who are really under the category of poverty, not only in the rural areas, because we also have the urban poverty group that we need to revisit to see how they are doing, how they're coping up with the economy. It's not so much about getting being a high income nation at the expense of these people suffering so much, because these people may not have a good economic ground, or they may not earn a lot basically.
Right. There was a very interesting comment from Professor Farida. Basically, I mean specifically on poverty group, where her concern was government has to look into the poverty group, not only in the rural areas, because we do have them in the urban sector as well, in the urban people as well. So what can you comment on that?
I think that's a very important point that the professor has made. We seem to be too concerned with growth. Is it 4%, 5%, 5.2%, 5.1%? In the end, the question should be, who is benefiting from it?
Right.
Now, we have the Gini coefficient, which measures income disparity. It has worsened in Malaysia. It's one of the worst, in fact, one of the worst. Now, why? Because the low-income groups are not benefiting as much from the growth that we have. We are proud to claim. Is it right on top? Is it not going down? Is it because of corruption?
Right.
Is it because of cronyism? I mean, these are valid questions to ask.
Okay, I'm sorry to stop you for a while because we do have a caller on the phone right now. Robert Pang from Social Care Foundation. Hello? Hello, Robert?
Hi.
Hi, Robert. Hi.
Hello, hi. I'm around, TANSRI.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'm guessing you know him?
I must congratulate you for putting in a lot of inputs.
Okay.
I think
you have to switch off your TV.
Number of trips that I've been on this foreign direct investment.
Because we're having that.
Our PM has done his best to win a lot of investors for foreign direct investment. But the worst part is the major issue faces us is the corruption factor.
Okay.
Which again is a subject that we need to look seriously into it.
I think you need to switch off your TV for a while.
You were saying we could have done better.
Yes, let me answer it if you like.
Okay.
Therefore, I would want your opinion. How best can our current MACC system to deal with these corruption issues?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Robert. All right. Okay. So again, with the corruption issue.
I think TANSRI, Robert Pang, my erstwhile colleague on the MACC.
I see. Okay.
He knows the answers, but I'll give it to him all the same because there are others listening.
Right, right.
I think we have come a long way.
Right.
I mean, at least you established now the MACC.
Okay.
We got good people there, but somehow or other, it's not moving as fast as it could. And I've made public statements on this. We seem to have got a lot of small fish, ikan bilis, tapi ikan you dia cabut. So people gain perception. They say, look, how serious are they? Is there a will, political or otherwise, to get the big fish? And we know there are big fish. It's common market talk. I'm not saying anything out of class. Why are we not doing it is the question. It must be some constraint, some reluctance. But until and unless we really get the big fish and we address the question of money politics, and this is imminent in the next few months, you're going to have a lot of money politics and the abuse of it.
Right.
And then when you come back to power, or you assume power, you will say, hey, I owe that guy something. And that's how it starts. So our rules should be tightened. What can we do? Our rules should be tightened on that.
Okay.
Number two, living beyond our means. We adapted our MACC Act from Hong Kong. They've done a great job. They were very corrupt, but they had the will and they wiped it out, almost.
Okay.
But this living beyond the means, suppose somebody earns 2,000 ringgit a month, and he's got 3 cars, 4 houses. Something must be wrong.
Right. Okay.
Why don't you put the onus on him and make him prove how to show cause how he got so wealthy?
Okay, we have to take a short break right now. We'll continue talking about this topic, which is getting hotter and hotter right now. So stay tuned to BizTalk.